Hi, my name's Sandy and today I'm talking to you about picture books. I'm not talking to you about naughty puppies, even though I have written a book about naughty puppies. I'm talking to you about picture books. And really, maybe it should be how not to write a picture book or how not to give a talk on picture books. Problem puppies. They're my speciality, but we're not here to talk problem puppies today. We're here to talk picture books and mistakes, mostly my mistakes. But hopefully you might learn something from my mistakes and your writing journey will get off to a better start. My writing journey started in a meeting. Yeah, I know. Most writing journeys start with an idea. They start with a character. There's a story you're burning to tell. I had indignation. I was so indignant that there was not a single picture book that teachers could use in the classroom to spark a conversation about cystic fibrosis that I organised a meeting with Cystic Fibrosis, Western Australia. At the end of the meeting, I had a deal to write my first picture book. And that sounds great, but I didn't even have an idea at that stage. Fortunately, I think pretty quickly under pressure. Rookie mistake number 1. I thought it was the author's job to do the illustration notes. So that's exactly what I did. I delivered my manuscript complete with some very detailed illustration notes. Stacey had also never worked on a book before, so she thought that was normal. So she illustrated exactly what I had described. And in theory, that sounds great. I described the product that I wanted and that's exactly what I got. But what I did is I stifled her creativity. I didn't allow her to contribute to the story because picture books, true picture books, are a blend of the words and the text coming together to tell the story. Due to the way the printing process works, most picture books are 32 pages. Once the illustrations and the text were combined, it was very obvious that The Mystery of the 65 Roses was not a 32-page picture book. We needed more pages. It was way too text heavy. So Natalie, who was the project manager, and I printed off the PDFs. We grabbed our scissors, we grabbed our glue, and we cut and we pasted. We moved text. We took illustrations and we flipped them to create extra pages. And then we sent it back to the graphic designer for him to work his magic. There were a few issues too with the proofreading of the manuscript. The original had been spell checked, grammar checked, and was ready to print. But the program the graphic designer was using didn't allow him to cut and paste the text in. He had to retype it. And that, of course, meant there were mistakes made. We thought we got them all, but some of them ended up going to print. None of this is ideal, but it was a great learning curve for me. I wish I'd known way back then what I do now. So, from doing things upside down, inside out, and back to front, here are my top tips for writing picture books. Don't force a moral into the story. Write a story that entertains rather than teaching a message. While messages are inherent in stories, the enjoyment of the story must always be the first priority. And don't force the rhyme. If the rhyme doesn't work perfectly, consider rewriting your work as prose. Picture books are mostly read aloud, so read your story out loud. What does it sound like? Have someone else read your story to you. With picture books, you have between 300 to 500 words to play with. It's not very long. Make every word count. Every word needs to earn its place. You need to write stories you enjoy. If you're writing funny stories that don't make you laugh, you're writing the wrong thing. Your reader needs to care about the character and what happens to them. They need a reason to keep turning the pages. Create a likeable character. Make sure you leave room for the illustrations because they're important to the story too. Make sure your story fits within the 32-page layout, leaving space for the title page, copyright and publisher information. You can do this visually using a storyboard or by making a little booklet, or you can insert page numbers into your text. If you do use the page numbers, make sure you remove them before you send your manuscript to a publisher. A publisher may not choose to use the same pagination, but leaving room shows you've given this some thought and understand that your story needs to fit within 32 pages. Some last thoughts. Consider joining the Society for Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. They have some fabulous PD and they are very supportive of emerging writers. And don't forget, if you're ever stuck for ideas, you can always write about problem puppies.
Yes, Rotto, I promise. One day I will write a book about you. I'll call it Rotto the Rotten. Or maybe Rotto the Rat Bag. What do you think about that?